Payoff Pitch Baseball proudly presents the 1994 season restart. Today's date is August 14th, 1994. Live from Kauffman Stadium, it's the Texas Rangers versus the Kansas City Royals. Hello, everybody. I'm Robert from RJL 518, welcoming you here to Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City, Mo, for a big game tonight between the Texas Rangers and the Kansas City Royals. This is an afternoon game or late afternoon matchup between these two. Texas has a record of 53-63. They are 10 games up under 500. But why is this game important? Because the Rangers, with a 10 game under 500, still lead the American League West. That's how bad that division really was. When the season was canceled, the Texas Rangers had a record of 52-62, and so far they've won one and lost one in simulation, and they still hold a small lead over the Oakland Athletics. And right now, according to my simulation standards in that division, the Texas Rangers and Oakland both lost one and won one in simulation, so Texas still holds that small little lead. So that's what's going on here for the Texas Rangers. Meanwhile, the Kansas City Royals, they're right in the thick of it. They're chasing the Chicago White Sox, the American League Central. So this could be this was a very important series, in my opinion, as the Rangers were still holding on to that division lead. Remember, division champions automatically get the playoffs and they get the bye. The top two wild cards will face each other in a best-of-3 wild card series, which is a little bit different from what would normally have been done in 1994. The thing about 1994, you also got to realize that 94 was also the first year of the 3-division alignment that was utilized. In 1993, when the Marlins joined in the league, okay, as well, okay, with the Colorado Rockies. All right, in 93, there were 4 7-team divisions, and then they went to the 3-division alignment to go ahead and get more playoffs. I don't understand it. I think they just should have kept it that way. You take the top 2 teams each division and fight it out that way. I don't know. But either way, that's how it worked out. But this is a big game here between Kansas City and Texas. Both these teams split in simulation. So this is a rubber game between these two. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for the Texas Rangers. David Hulse will lead it off. Jeff Fry will bat second. Jose Canseco will bat third. Will Clark bats fourth. Dean Palmer will bat fifth. Rusty Greer will bat sixth. Pudge, Ivan Rodriguez will bat seventh. Chris James will bat eighth. And Manuel Lee will bat ninth. Jose Canseco is the designated hitter for the Rangers today. Defensively for Kansas City, we got Wally Joyner at first base. Jose Lean is at second. Gary Gaetti is at third. The shortstop is Greg Gagne. In left field is Vince Coleman. Center field, Brian McRae. In right field is Felix Jose. Brent Main is behind the plate. And on the mound today for the Kansas City Royals will be Kevin Appier. 7 wins, 6 losses, a 3.83 ERA. Did a little change here. I'm going to probably put the stadium here right now underneath the scoreboard, and I'm going to move the pitchers into the mound, so it makes it a little bit easier for me to make sure I read off the correct pitcher. There were a couple of times, actually, that I think I did that in a couple of games earlier, and I did not really want to repeat the mistake. So Kevin Appier starts for the Royals today, and if any of the last couple of games we played so far in this restart are any indication, who knows how this game's going to go. So we go to the top of the first inning. It is Texas leading off, and batting first for the Rangers will be David Hulse. Appier's a right-hander. Hulse batted .268 with 1 home run against right-handers in 1994. So Kevin Appier gets on the mound, and let's get this ball game underway. Let's see how this game goes. And it's a 3. That's an in play. It's a 14, and yep, David Hulse is going to belt this one in the left center field. That's going to be a Texas League single for Hulse. And the Rangers start with a man on first. So here we go. Just like that. It's a base hit for Hulse. So runner on first base. His steal rating's a 5, and he's a B, so I might be sending him. I'll check a jumper and see what he gets at jump. Coming up for Texas now will be Jeff Fry. He batted .327 with no homers against righties in 1994. Steeler fan, welcome, welcome, welcome. Good to see you. Good to see you. Hoping for another exciting game. David Hulse has got a steal jump of 5B, so let's see if he gets the jump. Let's see if he gets the jump here. So his steal rating's a 5. Appier's hold rating is an 8. So on a 0 to 63, David Hulse attempts to steal. It's a 33. There he goes. He's on his way. And so his rating is a 5, and Pudge's arm is a 2. Oh boy. He's going to try to steal on Pudge. All right. Let's see if he deserves what he gets. So this is a B2. There's a B2. This is a normal. Here's the throw down to second, and he is safe and a close play. David Hulse will steal second base. He just got under there. It was a good throw by Pudge, but he just didn't get it. But Pudge just didn't get there in time. So David Hulse steals second base. So Jeff Fry is still at the plate, .327, no homers against the righties in 1994. Big game here between the Rangers and the Royals, rubber game of a 3-game set. Here's the pitch from Appier. This is an 8. It's a patient. It's an 87, and that one's going to be a ground ball to shortstop. That'll be picked up. That will be picked up by Gagne. He's got it. Throws to first, and that's 1 out. And I think I already messed up, didn't I? Because I used Pudge's arm instead of the catcher arm for Kansas City, and that was Brent Maine. His arm was a 3. It wouldn't have mattered. He still would have scored. He still would have gotten it. David Hulse has to hold, though, on the ground out, so we got 1 out. That will bring up the designated hitter for Texas, Jose Canseco. Batted .279 with 24 homers against right-handed pitching. Canseco was 30 years old at this time. And he is the DH for this game. So Canseco will come up to bat, 1 out. Hulse still at second base. Here's the pitch from Appier. And this is a 6. This is a tough. It's a 15. It's a 59, and Canseco is going to go down on strikes. Swing and a miss on strike 3. And that is the second out as Canseco goes down on a strikeout. And that will bring up Will Clark. Got a lot of heroes, actually, on both these teams. There's some players on these teams that we know. That's why 1994 was such an interesting season, because there were a lot of good players here. Will Clark, one of them, batted .336 with 12 home runs against right-handers in 94. And Will Clark, of course, bats from the left. So Hulse is still at second base after the base hit. Here's the pitch from Appier. This is an 8. It's a patient. It's a 21, and Will Clark is going to draw the base on balls. So now we have runners at first and second, and that will bring up Dean Palmer. Palmer batted .237, 15 home runs against right-handers in 94. So now runners at first and second as Kevin Appier already in a small jam here for the Royals. A battle of Kevins today here at Kauffman Stadium. Kevin Brown and Kevin Appier. In my opinion, 2 fine pitchers, although Kevin Brown did not have that great a year in 94. He didn't really become up until he had a very tough year that year. Here's the pitch to Palmer. And that is a 5. That's a tough. It's a 12. And Palmer, swing and a miss, struck him out. And Kevin Appier gets out of the jam. And that retires the side. Unlike last night, where 3 runs were quickly scored. But not in this game. As we might be in maybe for a little different type of game. But then again, we all know how my games usually go. No runs and 1 hit. We go to the bottom half of inning number 1. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for the Kansas City Royals. It will be Vince Coleman batting first. Brian McRae will bat second. Wally Joyner will bat third. Bob Hamelin is in the cleanup spot. Gary Gaetti will bat fifth. Felix Jose will bat 6th. Brent Maine 7th. Greg Gagne will bat 8th. And Jose Lean will bat 9th. Bob Hamlin is the designated hitter. Defensively for the Rangers, we got Clark at first base. Fry is at second. Palmer there at third. The shortstop is Manuel Lee. In left field, you got Rusty Greer. Center field, David Hulse. In right field is Chris James. Behind the plate, Pudge. And on the mound for the Texas Rangers is Kevin Brown. In 1994, 7 wins, 9 losses, a 4.82 ERA. Not one of his better years for Texas. But, of course, Kevin Brown does have a World Series title with the Marlins. He would get that in 3 years from now. So Kevin Brown takes the mound for the Rangers. It's an A3. And leading off for the Kansas City Royals will be Vince Coleman, the Ricky Henderson wannabe. What is it about Vince Coleman? He bats .231 with no home runs. Vince Coleman just had 50 stolen bases in 1994. Ricky Henderson wannabe. What was the difference between Vince Coleman and Ricky Henderson? On-base percentage. Vince Coleman really could not get on base like Ricky Henderson did. Ricky Henderson also could hit better, a lot better than Vince Coleman. Henderson, in my opinion, was a better fielder. That's why I always say Ricky Henderson was the best leadoff hitter in baseball history, and he was. Best leadoff hitter in history. Vince Coleman wanted to be Ricky Henderson, and he had the speed, but he didn't have the rest of the wheels to go with it. But here's Coleman to bat for the Royals. They're in the bottom of the first inning. And we'll see what Kevin Brown gives him. Brown gives him a ballpark play. It's a 40. And that's going to be an in play. And that's a 58. And that's going to be a fly ball to left field. Actually, that's right field. My bad. That's going to be taken up. That's going to be taken up by James. He'll get under that one. And he will make the catch. 1 out. Nice pitch there by Kevin Brown. 1 man down, and now we will see Brian McRae. Now, Brian McRae, pretty good player, actually. 27 years old in this time. Batted .259, 3 home runs against right-handers in 94. So here's McRae, and Brown ready to go ahead and give him the pitch. Let's see what we got. Here's a 10. This is a defense, and it's an 0-9. And that's going to be a hit no matter what. So let's see. The ball is hit to left field to Rusty Greer. And his range is a B45. His range is a B, and it's going to be a 1-36, but on 0-9, it won't matter. That's going to be a base hit. And that is going to be a single for Brian McRae as he gets on base, as Greer couldn't get to that one. Nice well hit by Brian McRae. He'll hold it first. His steal rating is a 5, but a 10 was rolled. We will not see a steal. And so with 1 out, McRae is there. And the batter now is Wally Joyner. Wally Joyner. We go back to the 1986 American League Championship Series. We go back to that real quick. Wally Joyner gets a staph infection, I believe, after Game 4 of that series and does not play in Game 5. And, of course, we all know what happens. Donnie Moore gives up the home run to Dave Henderson, and Henderson ties the ball game in the bottom of the 9th inning. And unfortunately for Donnie Moore, may he rest in peace, committed suicide a couple of years later. How would that series have gone if Wally Joyner was able to finish the series out? Because the staph infection was done for the rest of the series. Because when California Angels went to Boston, they got slaughtered in those 2 games back at Fenway. Amazing what 1 home run does to the entire, and the Angels are up 3-1. Wally Joyner, I don't know, a big miss? I still think was a fine player. Batted .314, 7 home runs against right-handers in 1994. McRae still on first base, and we got 1 out. Here's the pitch. This is a 7. It's in play. It's an 87, and that one's a ground ball to second base. Wally Joyner's double play is an 8. Kevin Brown's a 10. It's a 7. He's got it. Throws to second, back to first for 2, and Kevin Brown gets the double play, and the inning is over. Side retired there as Wally Joyner grounds out into a 4-6-3. So also for Kansas City, no runs and a hit. 1 in the books, we got no score. We go to the top of the second inning. Oh, no, I want to make sure. So Kevin Appier on the mound. And leading off for Texas will be Rusty Greer. Rusty Greer, another player I felt that might have kind of gotten a bad rap, but he was having a good year that year too in 94. Batted .332, 7 home runs against right-handers in 94. Kevin Appier gets the sign. Here's the pitch. It's a 9. It's a tough. It's an 0-1, and Rusty Greer is going to be called out on strikes. That's a backwards K. 1 down. Because Greer is out of that. 1 up, and here's Pudge, Ivan Rodriguez. Hall of Famer, no doubt about it. I don't know. Is Ivan Rodriguez maybe the best overall catcher in history? That's a real, I know. That's going to cause a lot of arguments. Say about Carlton Fisk, say about Yogi Berra, say about, maybe Buster Posey or Johnny Bench, very hard to call. I understand that. I get it. Mike Piazza is the best hitting catcher in baseball history, and there is no argument there. But best overall catcher, Ivan is definitely in that argument. Batted .297 with 12 homers in 1994. 1 out. Here's the pitch from Appier. And this is a 6. It's a tough. It's an 0-7 and a swing and a miss. And Pudge goes down on strikes. 3rd straight strikeout for Appier. 2 men down, and the batter will be Chris James. Chris James batted .293 with 2 homers against right-handers in 94. With so much there actually is star power on this Rangers team. But yeah, why was Texas 10 games under 500? Pitching, pretty much. Kevin Appier looks into the sign, sees what he gets from Maine. Now here's the pitch coming in. And this is going to be in the wheelhouse, but a 93 won't get it done. That one is hit high and deep to left field. And getting under that is going to be Coleman. He will make the catch and retire the side. So nothing across there for Texas, as we'll go to the bottom half of the second. Kevin Brown takes the mound. And coming on to pitch for Kansas City will be Bob Hamelin. Bob Hamelin is the DH. Batted .287 with 24 home runs in 94. Kevin Brown sets and deals. Let's see what he gives us. He gives us an 11. That's a ballpark. 93, that's going to be in play. Kauffman Stadium does not get much in wheelhouse. At least not in 94, it didn't. That's going to be in play. It's a 19. It's a 19, and that's going to be a base hit for Bob Hamelin. He hits that one into right field. He will hold it first on a single. Fans here at Kauffman Stadium still coming in for Kansas City. He rolled an 11. His steal jump is a 4. He will stay put. And that will bring up Gary Gaetti. Really an unsung baseball hero, Gary Gaetti. And this guy was a beast, especially when he played for Minnesota. 36 years old here, .297, 7 home runs in 1994 for the Royals. Gary Gaetti was still a very strong hitter. Hamelin on it first. And here's the pitch. And it is a 6. That's a tough. It's a 28. And that is going to be a strikeout. 1 down. Tough out there for Gaetti, and he is tough to get out. That's the first strikeout for Kevin Brown. And the next batter for KC will be Felix Jose. Batted .295, 8 home runs against right-handers. 1 out. Bob Haviland on at first. Here's the pitch. And we got an 8. That's a tough. It's a 45. And that one's going to be a strikeout as Kevin Brown gets him to go down on strikes. Second straight strikeout for Brown. 2 down. Now brings up the Kansas City catcher, Brent Mayne. Mayne batted .258, 2 home runs against right-handers in '94. So fans here at Kansas City would like to see some action. Let's see what happens. Here's the pitch from Brown. And that's a 5. That's a patient. That's a 43, and that's going to be a base hit for Brent Mayne. He gets a single. It's an opposite field liner into left field. Runner on first advances 2 bases, so Hamlin's going to wind up at third. He will hold there, and a single for Mayne. A 2-out base hit for Mayne. Runners at the corners. And the batter now is Greg Gagne. Or is it pronounced Gagne? I've heard announcers pronounce his last name Gagne or Gagne. It can be difficult. I'm going to pronounce it Gagne. Batted .267 with 6 home runs in '94. Runners in the corners, 2 outs. They'll be playing infield back. There's 2 outs. As Kevin Brown trying to get out of this inning here for Texas. Here's the pitch. That's a 6. It's a tough. It's an 18, and that is a swing and a miss by Gagne. And Kevin Brown strikes out the side. And the inning is over. No runs, 2 hits. Two innings in the books. We're still tied at 0-0. Between a pitching battle of the Kevins. So we go to the top of the 3rd inning in a scoreless game between the Royals and the Rangers, the rubber game of the 3-game set. Kevin Appier takes the mound. Leading off for Texas will be Manuel Lee. Manuel Lee batted .273, 2 home runs against the right-handers in '94. Appier sets and deals. And it's an 11. That's a defense. It's an 84. That's going to be an out no matter what. The ball is hit to shortstop. It's going to be a very nice play by Gagne. He's got it. Throws to first. 1 out. Not on an 84. No way you get an error there. Nice play by Gagne. Tough play, but he made it. Top of the batting order for Texas now, David Hulse. Hulse singled his last time up. He's 1 for 1. Here's the pitch from Appier. It's a 4. It's ballpark 52. That's going to be in play. And a 43, and that one's going to be a ground ball to first. It's going to be a nice play by Clark. Appier is going to come over and cover. Clark throws to Appier, 2 outs. We're a G3. And now we bring up Jeff Fry. Fry is 0 for 1, grounded out his last time up. Kevin Appier sets up, and the pitch on the way. And this is a 9. That's a tough. That's a 54. And, he almost missed. He almost got it, but that's just going to be a weak ground ball to third. Coming under it is Gaetti. He has it. Throws to first, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Kevin Appier. Nothing across. Here comes Kevin Brown to pitch now for the Rangers. And getting his first licks up for Kansas City will be Jose Lean. And this guy, I'll tell you, he not bad. Batted .273, no home runs though against right-handers. But Jose Lean, not a bad player. This Kansas City Royals team was pretty much only like a game behind the White Sox before the series, before the season was called to abrupt end. There was some good pennant races going on in each division. The first time they did the 3-division alignment in each league. Here's the pitch from Brown to Lean. That's a 7. That's going to be in play. That's a 35. And that one is a popped it up. Coming over it is Dean Palmer. And he will make the catch for 1 out. He pops it out to third. Top of the batting order for the Royals. Here's Coleman. Coleman flew out his last time up. He's 0 for 1. Schedule for this week is already posted in Payoff Pitch Group, as well as Tabletop Sports. And tomorrow we will have a rematch between the Astros and the Braves. And that was really the best game I could really take for Monday. Here's the pitch to Coleman. This is an 8. That's a tough. That's a 56. And Coleman's going to fight this one off. That's going to be a base hit for Coleman. He hits that one to center. Charging over for it is Hulse. He'll throw it in. And the Royals have a man on. A base hit by Coleman. His steal rating is a 9. He's an 8. He will definitely try to get a jump. And a 9 on a hold rating of 7. So I'll flip a card. 0 to 70. Vince Coleman tries for second. 85. He holds. So Coleman will not steal this batter. The batter will be Brian McRae. Coleman on it first. Got great speed. But he will hold on this play. McRae the batter. McRae is 1 for 1. He singled his last time up. Here's the pitch. And this is a 5. That's going to be a patient. That's 11. And that's going to be a walk. Kevin Brown walks McRae, so Vince Coleman didn't have to steal. And we got runners at first and second with 1 out. On a big walk given up by Brown. And still 1 man down here in the bottom of the 3rd. And the batter is Wally Joyner. Joyner grounded out his last time up. Vince Coleman, the run rating of 8. He should score. But then again, remember what happened with Bernie Williams last night. Still got to make the throw, depending on what the cards say. 1 out. Fans here in Kansas City want to see the Royals take an early lead. Here's the pitch to Joyner. This is a 10. It's going to be a defense. It's a 51. And that's hit to left field. That's going to be hit to Greer. His defense rating is a B, and he will make the play. It isn't out. It isn't out, and it's a short fly ball. Vince Coleman will hold at second base. 2 outs. Great play by Rusty Greer. 2 men down. As Greer makes a nice play out there in left. And the batter now will be Hamelin. Hamelin singled his last time up. He's 1 for 1. Runners at first and second. 2 outs. Bottom of the 3rd. No score between the Royals and the Rangers. Here's the pitch from Brown trying to get out of the jam. It's going to be an 8. It's a tough. It's a 36, and he will get out of the jam. Swing and a miss. Struck him out. And the inning is over. And I think the Royals feel like they let one get by them on that one. So 3 innings in the books. It's the Rangers nothing and the Royals nothing. And for those who are watching, it's time for a quick commercial break. I will be right back. Final line score on the last inning was no runs and a hit, no errors. We go to the top of the fourth inning. No score between the Rangers and the Royals here at Kauffman Stadium. The rubber game of these two teams. Texas is 53-63. Kansas City 65-52. The Rangers holding on to the American League West for dear life. Kansas City chasing the White Sox. And of course, I'll have the 10-minute ticker at the seventh inning stretch. Here's Jose Canseco batting for Texas. He struck out his last time up here to start the fourth. And here's the pitch. And this is a 9. That's a tough. It's a 28. And that is a swing and a miss as Canseco will strike out for the second time. One down. Fans here in Kansas City liking that. For some reason, wherever Canseco goes, nobody likes him that much. Can't imagine why, or at least not for a few years later when Canseco writes the book. Here's Will Clark. Clark walked his last time up. He has no official at bat. The pitch from Appier. And this is a 9. It's a tough. It's a 66. And this one is grounded to short. Should be an easy play for Gagne. He's got it. Throws to first for the second out. And that will bring up Palmer. Palmer batted .237 against the righties in 1994. He struck out his last time up. So far, Kevin Appier doing the job for Kansas City. Both pitchers actually not doing too bad. They're giving up a couple of hits, a few hits here, but not much. No runs scored. Here's the pitch to Palmer. That's a 7. It's a tough. That's a 10. And Dean Palmer's caught looking strike 3. I think Palmer was expecting the changeup. He got a slider, and it caught the black, and the umpire rung him up. And that is a 1-2-3 inning for Kevin Appier. Nothing across for Texas. We'll go to the bottom half of the fourth. And Gary Gaetti will bat for Kansas City. He struck out his last time up. Remember, tomorrow we have the Atlanta Braves versus we got the Houston Astros versus the Atlanta Braves tomorrow in a rematch of that game a couple of days ago. That was the best game on the board for Monday, August 15th. Check the rest of the schedule. We got some good games scheduled this week, I think. So here's the pitch to Gaetti. from Kevin Brown. That's a 9. That's going to be in play, 81, and that one's a ground ball to short. Coming up with it is going to be Lee. He's got it, throws to first, 1 out. Routine grounder. And that will bring up Felix Jose. We got some games scheduled this week with teams featuring the Orioles, the Royals, the Yankees, the Dodgers, the Reds, the Phillies. We got lots of good games scheduled for this week. As usual, I don't really want to play games that really didn't matter. I want to choose games for every day where a playoff berth was where a playoff push was being made. Mark Forsberg, welcome. Welcome to Kauffman Stadium. You're in the bottom of the 4th inning. No score between the Rangers and the Royals. Jose's the batter against Kevin Brown. Here's the pitch. It's a 7. That's an in play. That's an 84, and that's another ground ball to shortstop. Lee is going to get it again. He throws to first. Easily gets him by a couple of steps. 2 outs. Lee has been busy. At least in this inning he has. And that will bring up Brent Maine. Maine is 1 for 1, singled his last time up. But so far, this game has been quiet when it comes to runs. The 2 Kevins are actually pitching pretty well. 2 outs now, and here's the pitch. This is a 9. That's an in play, 74, and that's blown out into shallow center field. David Hulse is going to get under this one. Sits down on the field, takes a couple of bites of his sandwich, puts out the glove, blop. And, well, the ball actually landed in the sandwich, but it stays in the hand, and the side is retired. Of course, right now, David Hulse has mustard and ketchup all over him right now. That's the end of the inning there on a fly out to center field. And nothing across for Kansas City. No score. Big difference between last night. That's the one thing I love about payoff pitch. You really never know what you're going to get. Payoff pitch baseball, people. If you haven't taken a look at this, for those of you who don't know about the game, please go check it out. Put in Google it and take a great look at this awesome baseball game. My game of choice. Kevin Appier will come out and pitch for Kansas City to start the top of the 5th inning. And Rusty Greer will lead it off for Texas. Kevin Apier's fatigue rating is an 8. Kevin Brown's is a 9, so he could go the whole game if he can, depending on runners and such. So here's the pitch to Greer. And this is a duff. That's a tough. It's a 25, and that is a called strike 3 on Greer. Kevin Appier, that is his 7th strikeout. 1 down. He did have 145 strikeouts in 94. Remember that season was cut short. So if he was averaging 8.4 strikeouts per game, and he started 23 games, and he probably had at least 12 more to go, he would have easily gotten over 200 strikeouts. Easily. Here's Pudge. Pudge struck out his last time up, too. He's 0 for 1. One man down, and the pitch from Kevin Appier. That's a 9. That's a tough. That's a 40. But this time, Pudge is going to fight this one off. It's a base hit to right field. Being cut off by Felix Jose. He will throw the ball in, and Pudge will get to first. And that's his first hit of the game. And that will bring up Chris James. Pudge actually can run. He can steal a couple of bases, but he's not running here. James the batter. Kevin Appier now will pitch from the stretch. Let's see what we get. It's a 10. It's a patient 70. And that one is a fly ball to center field. Brian McRae will get under this one. He makes the catch. 2 men down. Runners hold. Kevin Appier not stunting Iron Rodriguez. They're on first base. And here's Manuel Lee. Lee grounded out his last time up. Two men out. Pudge on it first. Lee at the plate. Here's the pitch from Appier. And this is an in play. It's a rare play. So we go check our rare play chart and see what we got. And with runners on base, draw a card. The number is a 6. C, D, or F catcher range. Unable to block pitch. Passed ball. Runners advance one base. Well, the catcher is Brent. The catcher here is Brent Main. It's a D. He's unable to block the pitch. It's a passed ball. So Rodriguez goes to second, and Manuel Lee will roll again. Still 2 outs, though, but now Pudge is at second base on a PB. And J. Kevin Appier will do it again. Here's the pitch. And this is a 7. It's a tough. It's a 66. And oh, he's just going to miss it. Wow. Ground ball to second base. Coming up for it is Lean. He's got it. Throws to first and retires the side. He just missed it. A 65 would have gotten him a hit. Oh, wow. Does he just missed it? Side retired. On a ground out to second. So no runs on one hit. Bottom half of the inning coming up now for the Royals. And it's been close so far. It's been pretty much a pitcher's duel. Here's Greg Gagne leading off for Kansas City. How was Rodriguez playing for Houston? This is the Rangers in the. Did I say he was playing for the Astros or something? If I did, I'm sorry. Now he plays for Texas. There's the Texas Rangers and the Kansas City Royals. If I did say that, my bad. Here's Gagne. He plays for Kansas City. Kevin Brown sets on the mound. Bottom of the 5th. No score still. Here's the pitch. It's a 5. It's a patient. It's a 32. And Gagne rips one into the outfield. That's a base hit. He hits that into the left field corner. Coming over for it is going to be Greer. He'll throw it in there, but not until Gagne gets to second base. That's a double. And the fans here in Kansas City now got something to cheer for as a leadoff runner is at second base. Gagne hit that one hard. Bounced off the wall and left. And once again, Kevin Brown finds himself in a little bit of trouble. And here's Jose Lean. Lean popped out his last time up. Here's the pitch to Lean. And it's a 7. That's an in-play 12. And that one is going to be a base hit for Jose Lean. He gets through. It's a line drive into center field. Runner on second. Gagne coming around third. They're waving him home. There will not be a throw. He will score. And the Royals draw first blood. Finally, it's 1-0 Kansas City. As Jose Lean bouts one out there. And the Royals jump out in front, 1-0. As finally we got some runs. Lean holds it first. He will not run. And still nobody out. And here's Vince Coleman. Coleman is 1 for 2. Vince Coleman, the Ricky Henderson wannabe. He can run maybe as fast as him, maybe even faster, but couldn't hit like him. Leaned on it first. And here's the pitch from Kevin Brown. That's a 9. That's an in-play, 75, and that one's a fly ball to center field. Hulse is going to get to that one easily. And that is the first out of the inning. Lean stays at first, and here's Brian McRae. McRae is 1 for 1, singled and walked. One run in already here in the bottom of the 5th. Here's the pitch to McRae. That's a 7. That's also in play, but they're getting high rolls. 97. That's going to be a fly ball to left field. And it's going to be Greer who'll get under that one. 2 outs. Kevin Brown throwing in-play pitches, but the runners are just not hitting them low enough to get base hits. That's a second out. And that will bring up Joyner. Joyner is 0 for 2. Lean still on it first. Here's the pitch from Brown. And that's an 8. That's a tough. It's a 51, and he walked, and he walked him. No, I'm sorry, 51? Nope. It's a popped up. He pops that one up. My bad. Looking at the wrong thing here. It's a tough 51. He pops it up. Coming over for it is the shortstop, Lee. He will get there. And the inning is over. But the Royals, 1 run on 2 hits, finally break through. It's Royals 1, Rangers nothing. We still got a good game so far. A bit of a pitcher's duel compared to last night's game, if anybody watched it. And if you didn't, you need to. Because it was fun to play. Saw the star. Yeah, no, that's the logo the Rangers used in 1994. Remember, the Astros had that star logo. Yes, the logo that went across an Astros across it in 94. I have logos. Depending on the year, I have a logo sheet for every single year they is. So logos will usually always be different. But yes, that's the Texas Rangers logo in 94. That's what they used. We go to the top of the 6th inning, and it's Royals leading the Rangers 1-0. Kevin Appier gets on the mound. And leading off for Texas will be David Hulse. Remember, the Texas Rangers with a record of 53 and 63, they still lead the American League West. That division was so bad. Horrible division. When the division leader is 10 games under 500, you know that division is horrible. But yet, as bad as they were, the Oakland Athletics were only 1 game behind them, and the Mariners were 3 games behind them, and even the Angels weren't out of it yet. They were only 5 out. So that's why the season restart is huge, to see if these teams can get back to business. Top of the 6th. Here's the pitch from Appier to Hulse. It's ballpark, 71. That's going to be in play. And a 60 is drawn, and that one is going to be a fly ball to left field. Kauffman Stadium actually does keep a lot of balls in. Definitely a pitcher's park in 94. Coming under this one is going to be Coleman. He will make the catch, 1 out. Kauffman Stadium in 94, definitely a pitcher's park. It's pretty strong, too. The only way you're going to see many home runs is going to be wheelhouse off the batter's card. Here's Jeff Fry. Fry is 0 for 2. Kevin Appier pitching pretty well. So is Brown. He gave up only 1 run. Here's the pitch from Appier. That's a 7. That's a tough. That's a 48. But Fry is going to belt this one into right center field. Skirts through between first and second. That's going to be a base hit for Fry. He gets a single. He will hold it first. The steal rating's a 4. The roll was a 7. He will stay there, not run. And why would you when you got Jose Canseco coming up? Canseco, however, has struck out twice. So he's 0 for 2. Kevin Appier knows he can get him out. Here's the pitch from Kevin Appier. It's a 7. That's a tough, but that's a 99. That's a fly ball, a weak fly ball to left field. Coleman's going to come under that one, and he will make the catch for the second out. As Canseco just doesn't look like he's got it tonight. Bleacher Bums Gaming, welcome, welcome, welcome. We're in the top of the 6th inning. Royals leading the Rangers 1-0. Got a good pitcher's duel between two Kevins so far. Yep, Houston is an American League team, but not in this restart. Remember, they're still in the National League in '94. Here's Will Clark. Will Clark is 0 for 1, walked and grounded out. Fry is on it first, and here's the pitch from Appier. We got an 11. It's a defense 22. That could be trouble. That could be trouble. It's an arranged play. It's hit to right field. That goes to Felix. That goes to Jose. Jose in right field. His range is a C. It's a 22, and that is going to fall for a base hit. He will not get to it. And that's going to be more than that. That's going to be a double, 2 stars. A double, 2 bases. And with 2 outs, Fry he will score. Fry's run rating is an 8. And batters will score if their run rating is a 6 or higher. On a double with 2 outs, Fry will come around third. He will score, and we are tied. A double for Clark. He gets it. Will Clark smacks himself a double, and we're tied at 1 in this rubber game of this 3-game set between these two. Both teams won each one in simulation, or I should say on 10-minute ticker. But Clark now at second base as Kevin Appier surrenders his first run. The batter now will be Dean Palmer. Will Clark's run rating is a 7. On a single, he should score. With 2 outs, he will score. Here's the pitch to Palmer. And this is a 5. It's a 17, but Palmer swings and misses at strike 3. And the inning is over. And he gets the hat trick as he struck out 3 times. 1 run on 2 hits. And we're tied at 1 in this very key matchup between these two teams. Bottom of the 6th inning coming up. Leading off for Kansas City will be Bob Hamelin. Hamelin is 1 for 2, struck out and got a single. Here's the pitch from Brown. And this is a 6. It's a 74. That one's a fly ball, straight away center field. Coming under this one will be Hulse. He will get it, 1 out. And that will bring up Gaetti. Gaetti is 0 for 2, struck out and grounded out. Pitch from Brown. That's a 4. That's tough, 16, and that is a swing and a miss on Gaetti. Struck him out. He struck out. That's his second strikeout for Gaetti, 2 down. And now we'll see Felix Jose. He's also 0 for 2, grounded out and struck out. Both Kevins are pitching pretty good. in a 1-1 tie here in the bottom of the 6th. Kevin Brown sets and deals. And that's a 7. That's an in play. It's a 28. And Felix Jose is going to belt this one. It's going to be a Texas League single. He hits this one into right center field. Jose is on it first. D. Smith, welcome, welcome, welcome. Of course you joined this game. You got a Kansas City avatar there to watch your Royals. I'm sorry. I should let you know when I saw you play that I was showing a game with the Royals. Tied at 1 here, bottom of the 6th. Felix Jose just got himself a base hit in a tie pitchers duel. Felix Jose is one of the 7. His steal rating's a 5. Jose will not run if I utilize auto steal. And with 2 outs, here's Brent Maine. Brent Maine is 1 for 2, singled and flew out. Kevin Brown for Texas, trying to get out of the inning here. 2 outs, bottom of the 6th. Max Cornelius, he made it. How you doing, brother? We got some baseball going on here. We got a pretty good pitchers matchup compared to last night. And as I said, for anyone who hasn't seen last night, check that game out. Blue Jays and Yankees was pretty crazy. Here's the pitch to Maine from Brown. And this is a 4. It's a tough. It's a 32. And Maine is caught looking at strike 3. Side retired. Kevin Brown and Kevin Appier are both doing renditions of Bend But Don't Break. No runs and a hit. 6 in the books. Was still tied at 1. We go to the top of the 7th inning. Do a quick shuffle here. Wasn't many cards used, but that's okay. You live in Texas and you root for KC. Nothing wrong with that. Boo Rangers. I understand. Not a problem. I can neither confirm nor deny how that game went for the Yankees last night, BBG. You got to check it out. So we go to the top of the 7th inning. Rangers 1, Royals 1. Remember, I got the 7th inning stretch and the 10-minute ticker, so you'll see how the rest of the league goes today. Coming on to pitch for Kansas City will be Appier. No need to take him out, plus he hasn't even reached his fatigue level yet. Here's Rusty Greer for Texas. He's struck out twice. Here's the pitch to Greer. And maybe it's a 5, it's a tough, it's a 40, and that one. And Greer's going to get himself a base hit. He gets a single. He hits that one into right field. Coming at the quick to cut it off quickly is Jose. He'll throw it in, but Greer is safe at first with a base hit. He gets that one in there. Greer does not have a jump rating, so he will not go. So leadoff man on first for the Texas Rangers, and that will bring up Pudge. Pudge is 1 for 2. Struck out and got a single. Greer on it first. Here's the pitch. It's a 7. That's a tough. It's an 06, and that is a strikeout. 1 down. As Kevin Appier continues to throw hard and fast. Got him on a fastball right there. Pudge couldn't catch up to that one. One man down, and here's Chris James. James is 0 for 2, flew out twice. And here's the pitch to James. And that's an 8. That's a tough. It's a 61, and James is going to swing and a miss at a strike 3. 2 down. Kevin Appier gets the job done there. Strikes out Chris James. A leadoff base hit, and so far, nothing to show for it. 2 men down for Manuel Lee. He's grounded out twice, both to short. Man on at first, top of the 7th inning. Tied at 1. Here's the pitch to Lee. That's an 11. It's a defense of 74, and it won't matter where that goes. That's going to make the play. That one's a range play to third base. So coming on to make that is going to be Gaetti. He will get that. His range rating is a C, but it won't matter here. He's got it. Throws to second, and the inning is over. So no runs for Texas on a hit. We come to the 7th inning stretch. So go ahead and sing your Take Me Out to the Ball Game, as I will be right back in a couple of minutes, people. Tied at 1. Be right back. Okay, it is 10-minute ticker time, so let's see how the rest of the league will shape up. As you can see, we use the results charts. And we go ahead and we roll dice to decide according to using the payoff pitch quick results charts, and tells us who wins the games. As I'm not using no stupid, biased, cheating AI. The dice will decide who goes. These quick results charts were developed by Joe Bryan of Payoff Pitch. So we're playing Payoff Pitch. We will use Payoff Pitch quick results charts. I'm not going to use Fast Score or anything like that. So let's start first with the American League. We got Boston versus Baltimore. And B over D. Remember, the higher the grade, the favorite. And it's a 7, B over D, and that's won by Baltimore. They do beat the Red Sox. California, Detroit. Detroit is the favorite, B over F. That's a 4, and that's won by Detroit. Milwaukee at Cleveland. Cleveland's an A. Milwaukee is a D. That's a 7, and that one is won by Milwaukee. They get a big win over Cleveland. Minnesota, Chicago, White Sox. White Sox A, Twins D. It's an 8, and that's won by the Twins. So Kansas City, if they win this game, they'll gain a game on the White Sox. Seattle and Oakland, both teams are Fs. It's a 10, and that's won by the visitor, and that will be Seattle as they beat the A's. Texas, Kansas City, we're playing. We got Toronto and the Yankees, and a win and a big game that happened last night. Let's see what happens. The Yankees are favored, A over D. It's a 9, A over D, and that's won by New York. The Yankees will take today's game. And that's it for the American League. Let's go to the National League. Let's see what we got. We got the Cubs and the Dodgers. Dodgers favored, C over F. It's an 8. And that's won by the Cubs. The Cubs get a win there. Cincinnati and Colorado. Reds are favored, B over D. That's an 8. That's won by the Rockies. The Rockies get the win there. Underdogs winning today. Houston and Atlanta. We will have a rematch of this game tomorrow. Well, let's see who wins today. Both teams rated a B. That's a 10, and that's won by Houston again. As the Astros have now won 3 straight over the Braves. And a chance to sweep tomorrow. The Mets and the Expos. Expos are favored, A over D. That's an 8, and the Mets will get a game on the Expos. Yay, Mets! We finally take a game against the Expos. Philadelphia, St. Louis. The Phillies are favored over D over F. That's an 11, and that's going to be won by the Cardinals. San Francisco, San Diego. The Giants are favored, but not by much. It's D over F. It's a 5. That one is won by the Giants. And finally, Pirates at Marlins. And of course, with the Dodgers losing today, San Francisco gains a game on them. Pittsburgh at Florida. D over F, the Pirates are actually favored. But this will be won by the Marlins as they get the win. And that is all. So, you've now see how today's games go. There's only 4 games scheduled for tomorrow, and that's the reason why I re-chose Houston and Atlanta. Of course, I'm not going to post standings all the time. I will be posting them pretty much once at the end of every baseball week. And a week in baseball, remember, is Monday through Sunday. But meanwhile, we got a very important game here. With the White Sox losing, Kansas City can gain a game on them. So now this game became a little bit more important for the Royals. And the Rangers, of course, Oakland lost today. So the Rangers can maybe gain a game, can get a game further on Oakland. Like I said, I'm going to be playing games where teams are in the playoffs. I just don't want to play 2 teams where really, I'll play with one team that's in the playoff push and one that's not. But I want to play the better games possible in this restart. Kind of like the way I wanted to do it. And so far, it's turning out the way I expected. We go to the bottom half of the 7th inning. We're tied at 1. Kevin Brown takes the mound for Texas in a very big game now, which became a big game for both teams. Royals have a chance to gain a game. And leading off for the Royals will be Greg Gagne. Gagne doubled his last time up. He's 1 for 2. Yeah, I know. Every 50, every 40